Hello, Rhoda here. Welcome to my craft room. Today is the day for the Think Outside the Box challenge. Miss Kyung Shotwell is the host this week. She chose safety pin, and I was looking all over and I only had 3 large safety pins, and then I remembered I had these. They're kind of special. They don't have a loop in the end, so I had just enough for what I want to do with my project. She said the only stipulation, you couldn't use it like a dangle. So thank you everybody for coming to visit, and I'm serving appetizers today with a saltine box. We are going to use this. Now if you have a saltine box that's empty or close to it, this is what you might want to do with it. I decided to make a small chunky journal with it. So as you can see, I took the two I cut one side off. That's the only side I cut off, but I've also used it as well. So I cut it down to where it was. Oops, let me measure it here for you. I've got it about 4¼ tall, but it's about 4 inches on each one of the sides. And the fourth side ended up being this. I was going to reinforce my spine with it. So I've made it also the 4¼ by 4. And I'm going to glue it together. Yes, 4. And I'm going to put some material on it. I decided to cover it with material. So I chose this to go over the part that's going to reinforce my spine. And the only reason it's going to reinforce it is to give it strength when it's standing up or whatever, because we're doing a Midori style. It's the first time I've ever done one, and I'm kind of excited. I want to see how this works. And the way I'm using the safety pins works in with the Midori style. Okay, this I chose for my inside material, so we will glue that on in a little bit. And then this is what I chose for my outside. I went with bees. So I had this pretty bee material. And I also had a piece of upholstery fabric that I sewed on the inside here to give it strength as well, because of being picked and poked by all these safety pins. So I'm not sure if you can see exactly how I did it. I put about 5 beads on each safety pin, and it will open. I'm going to show the last one going in, but I started in the middle, so I got it nice and centered, and I looped my safety pin around the one beside it, so they're all interconnected. They're not going to come apart from each other, in other words. So let me get this last one on there so I can kind of show you what I'm talking about. Now, I've got to get all my beads on the one side it's supposed to be. Okay. I guess one's the showy side and one is the working side. So what I want to do is I went out with the head on both on this side, and then the head goes out on the 2 on the right side. So since this one's leaning upward, I'm going through that hole where the safety pin goes through. I'm going down through my material, and I'm going to come out here at the end, or near the end, and then I'm going to close it in. All right, so all my little beads are showing. I have my safety pins all in a nice row. Are they nice and rowed up? Yes, they are. Okay, so I think that works. And you can see how it kind of, they move around a little bit, so it's interactive. But we're also going to thread our elasticized cord here through it. I've got all kinds of little pieces and parts over here I'm going to work with and try to get it to work into my... the only problem is I hated that was silver, but that was the only one I had. So let me get this out of the way. We're going to start from the inside out, and we're going to go ahead and put our pieces together here for our base, and I'm going to go ahead and just go with fabric tack for the whole thing, whole kit and caboodle, because I should have probably filled it, but I think I have enough. Hope everyone's doing well. I know everybody always says that every video I watch. Everybody wants to wish you well, but, you know, we really mean it. We hope everybody that watches we give them a good frame of mind, and we want them to have a nice day, and, You know, all those kind of things. We crafters, we're friendly lot. I'm trying to figure out which way I put that on there. Okay, yeah. I'm looking for the other thick piece. There we go. So they're going to be on opposite sides. That's what I was trying to do. All right, so we're going to get those two together. Then we're going to cover the front here. And then we're going to wrap around to the back. And the reason I put all those safety pins on there already, you know, I didn't think that would be too hard of a thing to figure out. I don't know where I got those safety pins. Like with everything else I've got in this room, I've had them for ages. And it's just something I got and didn't use, obviously. Oh, okay, let me see if I can straighten that wrinkle out a little bit. I had a big wrinkle in my bee fabric, so I put a big glock of water on it, and it straightened it out nice. All right, we're going to go with that. We don't have to worry about if you see a little bit of the imprint coming through, because it's going to get covered. All right, cut off a little excess material here. And the one thing I liked was the little square here goes with the little square wooden bead that I chose to go in here. And I thought that kind of gave it a connection, you know. I try to do that when I can, just so things will matchy. It's not matchy, but it gives you the same visual texture and that kind of stuff. All right, I'm going to cut the corners off, and then we're going to wrap her around. And this is sort of how we're going to do it on the actual piece of background for our front and back cover. Okay, there we go. I'm trying to talk and think at the same time. That's not always an easy thing. All right, we're going to see about getting, yeah, that'll work. I didn't know if I needed to bring my corners in first, but I think I cut them off so much you couldn't bring them in. All right, that's that. That's that. And this is going to be slathered with fabric tack to go down the back. So if you miss a little bit of it, I don't think you have to worry about it. Okay, bring that in. Has anybody else done a Midori style? I've not. And, you know, I'm wanting to try this out to see how it works. You know, I might just trim that off. It's kind of sticking out a little bit. I think that's... Let me try the other side and see. I think I didn't want to bulk it up too much. That's the only problem. On the cover, I'm doing it a little different, so I don't think I need to worry about it out there. All right. I put my finger on that and pulled it right off. Sticky fingers. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to just trim this. I don't think it's going to hurt a thing. Not a thing. There. It keeps it from sticking out on me. All right. We got that done. Got it done. Now we're going to do the outside cover. I got strings all over me. This is my little pad of papers that's going to go inside. And I'll tell you how I did that in a second, too. And... get this out of the way. We are going to do this a little different. We're going to do both sides. Okay, wait a minute. No, maybe we're not. I think it was a thought I had on the another one. Oh, I was thinking of this, and I was thinking of another one. I have a different Midori style I'm going to do a little later on another video. And I think we're just going to glue this down. And then we're going to glue the two pieces together. I think that's how I decided to go with it. And we're just going to pinking shear the outside edge. I didn't think that would hurt anything. I'm going to do one panel at a time just so my glue doesn't get too dry on me. And I want it to hold really nice. Really do your outside edge. And throw you a little bit on the inside. There we go. Now I want to make sure I start my panel for my back in the right place. And I think that's it. Okay. Then we're going to put this piece down and smooth it out. You know, I can see that, and I don't like that. I need to turn it around. Sorry. So we're going to go ahead and put these two together. How about that? My glue. Might have to lay my bottle down. Oh, this is not going smoothly. Have you ever had those days when things just don't go too smoothly? This seems to be one of them. All right. We're going to refold this to where it folds backward. There we go. And then we're going to put the two pieces together this way. And just make sure it folds. It still works for you. And we're just going to do the rest of it. And again, just make sure you got enough glue on your outside edges so they hold together for you. There we go. And our last piece. I had most of this figured out in my head, but you know, with every new thing you try, it's not going to always go to your liking. That sometimes happens. That's called, exploring. You're exploring to see if it works. All right, let me put that there. I'm going to bend it to make sure it bends correctly for me, to retrain that crease that I put in it. And that one's a little off, so I'm trying to retrain it. It's like a recalcitrant dog. Okay, I had to stretch for my... Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now where's my scissors? I'm going to do a little trimming. Got a little bit of excess sticking off. I don't think it's going to matter though, because of the way I'm going to put the material on it. But I just wanted to take care of that. All right. I think that'll work. Okay, let's try this again. I know I left the saltine on the inside, but I just tried that little fabric to cover it, and it covers it really well. So you won't see the pattern. It's just this yellow. It was so pale. It kind of shone through. I don't know if you know it, but my husband, he has bees, or I guess we have bees. They've not swarmed yet. Usually the 1st of May, though we did have one year, it was the 1st of April. They will get out and swarm, and that's the queens leaving the nest. They grow about 4, 5 queens, and they keep feeding them the royal honey, the royal jelly, and then they have a certain time that they'll come out, and they're going to go off and try to find them a new home. There's so many of the hive that'll go with them, and then they send out a scout. They usually come out and they'll land in one of our little trees right near it. Have like a crabapple tree and a flowering pear tree and a few other little trees, and they just come out and they'll land. Then she sends her scouts out, and they're going out and they're trying to find a hollow log or something. An old chimney. Our neighbor down here, she said that they came down and got into their chimney. We also have a church down the road, and they had a nest of bees, I guess you'd call it, a hive of bees, that got into their steps that was coming out the backside of their church. And they wanted my husband to come down and get them. Well, he's not a brick mason. You would have had to reconstruct that whole set of stairs. They got in through a tiny, tiny hole. But to get in there and get all the honey out and get all the bees out, you would have had to deconstruct the whole thing and rebuild it. The stairs, I mean. So he said, no, you'll have to go with a pest control company or something. He says, I can't do that. My dad, he could have redone the stairs because he's a brick mason. But, you know, he's been retired for years. So, it just didn't work out for the poor church. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is put my, not that one. Where's the, okay, over here. I'm going to put this one on here. And the reason I left them so big is just so I could cut them down. I wouldn't have to worry about running out of room. So, we're going to do that. We're going to do our inside. Cover that in good. Yeah, I remember he puts me on bee patrol. That's what I call it, bee patrol. So I have to usually go out while he's at work, and he has me go out and look. Now, see, he can go in his hives. He'll go in and check, and he'll see that they're building queen cells and how many they've got, and I guess he kind of records which hive they're in, that kind of thing. So he'll do that, and then he'll watch them. He'll get in there and kind of see how big they are, and they won't come out on a rainy day. Now, these are good little forecasters. These bees know stuff. I don't know how, but they know stuff. So if it's going to be a rainy day, they won't show. So if they're ready to come out and it's rained, we know they're going to burst out of there like the next sunny day. So he'll have me go down and watch. I know I videoed it one time. There was like 3 or 4 swarms came out. I was down there trying to record where they were going, and then I'd go up and I'd tell him, and then I'd go down and check, and then there's another swarm coming out of another one of the hives. We got usually we have 6 to 8 at a time, and by the end of the summer we may have more because of how many swarms he can collect. Now, if those little boogies come out and go in the top of a tree somewhere, we're out of luck. We are out of luck. All right. I'm going to go ahead and put my little back on here. And the taller part goes up. Because remember, we want it to be 4 wide. And we're just going to go ahead and smear our glue on the back of here. And this is just to add support. I guess with the 2 pieces, you might have had enough. But we want to make sure our little book does well. Gosh. Need to have some more come down. There we go. But yeah, it's very interesting. They're kind of the ones we have are what they consider an Italian bee because the American bees are dead. They're gone. There's no more. I don't know what happened to them. We have different critters that'll get in there. There's like this little moth type of thing that gets in there and kills them, takes over the hive. I'm just trying to find my center, and then we're going to let that go down real good. But yeah, they have a lot of enemies out there. They've got some kind of little worm that'll get in there. They've got fleas. Would you believe a bee would have fleas? But what he does is he usually has like a sticky pad, like you get those mouse pads. He gets that and he puts it on the bottom of the hive. Then he takes cornstarch and he sprinkles it. They're in their little supers, you know, those little plates that they're always building their hives and stuff on. They're in there doing that, working their business, and he's pouring this stuff right over top of them. Now I'm going to get in here with my pinking shears, try to find my ends, and I'm just going to go a little bit out of that and cut all the way around here. Maybe you want to put your finger there just so you can guide. You can always come back here and trim more down. You just don't want to trim too much. Right there on the edge. I kind of like that. There we go. That side's good. That side's real good. All right, we'll do the other side. I'll tell you what, I'm going to get in here and do this, and I'll be right back. Okay, I think I've got my edges just about right. I got like a little bit here. Maybe I want to trim off. And then back here, I cut all of my jiggy jaggies off. So I'm going to go back in, put a little more in there. Okay, so that part's done. We've got our cover done. Well, except for I've got a bee that I want to put on the front on an extra piece of the paper that I had. So we're just going to do this little stamping, and that'll give us our decoration for the front. Okay, I'll put that dead center. And I might rip around the outside edge. I haven't decided yet. I got that ink on my finger, so I gotta watch out. I'm pushing because these are those wooden stamps, and you really have to watch out. That's good. It's like a little delicate look to it. So we'll wipe this off real quick, and my fingers. Just get the most of it off. There we go. Stick it behind me. And now I'm going to do a little ripping. If you wanted to get industrious, you could get in here and do a little alcohol ink coloring, regular kind of pencil coloring, whatever, you know. I don't think I need any more color. I was trying to go mostly with the colors of the bee, you know, the black, the warm browns, the yellow, that kind of thing. All right. So our cover's on here. There we go. I think I'm going to kiss the outside edge with just a little bit of this so it'll pop out. Yep. This is the third round of the Think Outside the Box challenge. Tommy, Paper Crafting with Miss Tommy, she was first. Then I was second. And then Kyung, this is her week. Then we'll have Laura. We did have another lady. I don't know if she'll have a chance to go the next round or not, but I think we're going to go again. Me and Tommy's discussed it. We've discussed it. We kind of like this. I like this challenge. So we are just going to go and find us another item to do again for another round. Thought that was kind of fun. Oh, I did have these little pieces here that I thought I would stick around here just to give it some interest. I've got that little piece. I might stick him in there. He has yellow in him. And I didn't know what else to do with him. He's just like a tab off the end of a report cover kind of a deal. And it had a number on him. So I thought, yeah, why not? Put him on here. I didn't want him to be buried. There we go. Bring him out a little bit. There we go. All right. Now I think I'll just put me a little number here. And I got this little file thing. I think he blends in too much. So maybe we'll just go with this right there. Yeah, that looks good. Let's do that. I just wanted something on here besides the bee. He's history. Okay. Oh, and I do have some pockets that's supposed to go on the inside of here too. I kind of cut them out. I had a bunch of scraps, so I was just using the scraps, and I cut this little wedge out. I used a stronger paper for the outside of each one of the little 8 bundles, I guess you would call them. That's going to be on the inside. And this was an excess piece. Actually, it was a little smaller than it should have been, so I said, well, let me see about making it a pocket. We're going to do this side. And then that should be all the gluing we're going to have to do. Oh, come on. There we go. Yeah, I gotta get my string in here. And, oops. It's a little... Oh! Are you still there? Sorry. I knocked it off. Give me a second. Okay, I apologize for that. I'm still filming the old way with this crazy Swiffer sweeper and a curtain rod, and I hit it, and that's where you went bouncing. So I apologize. Okay, what we're going to do, we're threading our elasticized cord up through our, whoops, our pieces here. And I'm thinking I'm going to tie a knot and stick it in this last one and hope that that knot will hold. I wasn't sure exactly. I think Midori is usually like a round elasticized band, but I mean, is it like a rubber band where it's like just one continuous piece, or how is that? All right, so yep, that holds. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start the string, and I've got 8 little packets over here. And my plan was to put 2 in each one of my safety pins. They're like a little track for me. They're going to be a track for my string to stay in the one position and not go wandering, because there's nothing else that's really holding them. Okay, so now I need to go to my second set of safety pins. I don't think this would be considered being used as a dangle, so I think I'm safe. Okay, so I need to start stretching it out too to give myself more. It may get me a little clip, or I've got a clothespin back behind me here. Might just use that. Yep. Let me get this and see how strong it'll hold it. All right, so we need to stretch this one. And bring it around. You may have to go a couple of times on the stretching. Oop. I think I got this on the top of a package one time for Christmas. So, you know, use your scraps, use your trash. I guess it's weak. If I kept it, I don't think it's considered trash, right? Oh, okay. Let me pull that on around. Well, it's going to hold these little guys nice. All right. See if I can clip that in. Hopefully that'll hold. Okay, let's keep going. Remember to put 2 in each one. And then we're going to do a knot at the end like we did at the beginning. I think I need to stretch this out a bit more. All right. Let me stretch it a little more. Okay, I'm near the end. I had to keep stretching and keep stretching to get this to be the length that I needed it to be. And I'm almost there. I believe I'm almost there. I have to count my strings on the inside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, we're there. So that means I'm going in the eye of this safety pin right here, and that's where I'm going to tie off. Now, I'm not sure exactly how the Midoris work. I didn't want to do a bunch of different little strings and tie them and then have all these little knotted ends, you know, sticking up. I didn't want that. Whoa. Let me trim that just a tad. So that's why I chose to do it this way, where I went through. Now the part you need to do is adjust all your pieces. Make sure your outside edges are where you want them to be, because it looks like I pulled and pulled to where I messed that up a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry. Good grief, I'm off the screen. Oh, I hate that when people do that. I apologize. I'm just trying to pull this up and get my edgings in the right direction. I guess you could say that. All right. Now, we're going to go inside and we're going to readjust. We want to adjust it to where we want our little papers to be. We want to make sure they're all about even. So I need to work the top and the bottom. And about, I guess that's a 1/4 inch apart, maybe. Something along those lines. I don't know that it matters. There we go. I think that's about good. Okay, now the part with the papers. I forget how many I put in here now. Crap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I put 10 in here, and I had left these to show you. These were scraps that I had left over. Now, where's me at 12 by 12? Hang on. All right, I always give you a little something I'm going to show you. I've been working on some master boards, and these are them. And I got more ideas to put on here, but check this one out. I had all these scraps, and I went for blues with this one, and then I added some extra little strips in there, and I really like the way those turned out. And I did the same for this one. This one had a lot of yellows and peaches, and then I did a large one like that as well. But anyway, what I wanted to show you was with this piece. Like, this is a 12 by 12, and most of these are the little thin paper. And I don't care that one side is white. That's fine. But what I did is I cut everything 4 inches wide. So you got 4 strips out of this sheet. So if you're cutting 4 inches wide, you cut one end off first, because they're only 8 long. Cut one whole end off first, and then you come in this way and cut you 3 pieces from this side. That's the perfect size. Then you'll take and cut a 4-inch end off of here to get another 8-inch side. So you had all those little extra pieces left, is what I'm getting at. Those little extra squares that weren't able to be used. So I decided to use them as pockets. And I just went in and cut a little thumb pull out and chose where I wanted it to go. So I just run me a little glue along the outside edge. And some need to be trimmed a little bit. And then I just kind of put it in there and wiped it down. And you've got a little spot inside if you needed to tuck something. This is mostly a little scribble journal. It'd be great if you wanted to put little photos in it. Like you got a little kid that's got some, I guess the school photos. You know how you'd always exchange them at the end of the year or whenever our photos were taken. That is, if they still do that. Am I aging myself again? I could be. Okay, see, it just sticks over just a little bit, and we just don't want that. But you don't have to be too exact with it. It's just a fun little book. And there's so much to it, I don't think you'll notice that much. So that's all we needed with the glue. We're going to put our piece back together again. Put our center in it. And now we're ready to put these in. And like I was telling you, I have one little sturdier piece. That's the outside piece for each one of these. And so what you do with a Midori style is you will tuck it under and put it through and hold it up and let it get in there and seat itself. There. That's easy. Wow. Okay. Let me put my second one in there. And we'll see what our little book looks like after we get it stuffed full. I really want to thank all my new subscribers. I have been gaining subscribers so much lately. And I'm so appreciative. I think it means they like what I'm doing. So, you know, they really like that little Victorian set of ladies I did on the Flippy Flappies. Boy, that one really got a lot of attention. So, I guess I need to find a few more things like that to do. But I'm here, there, and everywhere. That's my problem. I've got so many things I want to try or to do, and then I'll get this wild idea for something. And I try to think outside the box, like this challenge. I'm always thinking outside the box. And it's a good thing. I mean, it keeps your mind working, keeps you going, makes you think about stuff. Like that cracker box got empty and I stared at it. I stared at it. And I kept thinking, what could I do with that? And I thought, you know, if I cut it in half, that would make a short, chubby little journal. And it might be cute. It's perfect for a desk. Ooh, whoops. It's perfect for a desk or something. It'll stand up on its own. Oh, okay. Let's see what she looks like. Look at it. It's all in there. It flips back and forth. And that's basically what it does. It stands up on its own. Now, I'm going to trim the edge of this one too, because there we go. But that's what our end looks like. It's not all that pretty. If it was gold, I think it would do better. But, yeah, our safety pins was our Think Outside the Box challenge pieces. I didn't use them as a dangle or a charm or anything. And I think they do the trick really well if you get a small one. So, there you go. Cracker box journal, I guess is what you could call it. It doesn't want to set that way too well. I think the best way to set it's like this. Now, I did have a bee charm that I thought to put on here. And I may put it on the back. So it's a little dangle. So, you see him? Isn't he cute? He kind of looks like the bumblebee. So, let me get this open. And that's the last thing we'll do to this. There we go. Let me get my finger in here to find a good spot. I think we'll stick him right here. And now I just got to get... That's the thing with jewelry. I used to do jewelry before, so that's why I got all kinds of stuff that has to do with bracelets and such. There we go. It's on there. Yep, it's on there. So he's my little dangle for the back. He'll dangle right there and fly around. Sees buddies. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for coming to visit and to see my little adventure and experimentation item today. Hope you try one. Give it a shot. And if you saw something you liked, please give me a thumbs up. Go check my Rhoda's Junk page. And everybody have a great day. Goodbye.